So she'll be speaking with us. We have Jessie Dowling, who is the grassroots organizer for Mosca for our GMO labeling campaign. We also have Mallory Shaughnessy here, who's a former county commissioner who also serves on the board of Greater Portland Move to Amend, who's also working to fight against decisions like Citizens United that have given unlimited spending to corporations to benefit whatever side of the election are on. We're going to hear from her as well. Sorry! We're working on it! Sorry! And then we also have David Marshall, who's a city councilor here. He's going to be speaking. And there are some other great speakers. So let's just get us started. We're going to start off with hearing from Dee Reyes from Agent Orange Legacy. Let's give her a big round of applause.
How's everybody doing? Can I get a no more GMO? No GMO! Right! Yeah! Okay, well I'm the daughter of a Vietnam veteran who was exposed to Agent Orange. He died in 2005 because of that exposure. Monsanto was one of the largest manufacturers of Agent Orange. There were 21 million gallons of Agent Orange sprayed on Vietnam during the war. My father served in the Brown Water Navy on the USS Dynamic, MSO 432. He was there from 1967 to 1969, and AO spraying was at its height during those years. I believe the reason that I've been sick all my life is due to his exposure.
Oh, God.
I have been diagnosed with 31 different illnesses, and I'm only 32 years old. I have suffered from debilitating muscle spasms since childhood to the point where I was in a wheelchair and could not walk.
Oh, my God.
All the doctors could say was it was all in my head. I was faking it. Don't believe her. It's not real. So I suffered in years for pain while they did nothing. Nothing. Most recently, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, which makes it very difficult to live life or to even eat food because it's paralysis of the stomach and intestinal muscles.
Speak right into the mic.
You gotta make it louder.
You into the mic.
Right there. Okay, is that better? Alright! Because of what I went through, my mother and I founded Agent Orange Legacy in 2007. Since we started AO Legacy, we began collecting health information from the children of Vietnam veterans. What we have noticed is a high incidence of autoimmune and rare disease. Our research has led us to believe that the children suffer from birth defects, chronic and severe autoimmune and rare disease. The children of Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange are at risk for developing diabetes, heart disease, and many different forms of cancer, as are other Americans. This is becoming the norm for the average person.
No!
This is the sign of the times that we live in.
Yes, it is.
And this is scary.
Yes, it
It is
is.
scary.
Yes, it is.
We need to stop Monsanto. After 7 years of creating awareness, we still get emails every day from children of Vietnam veterans who have never heard of Agent Orange. They are unaware that it could be causing the illnesses that they are suffering with. And the birth defects are related to the veterans' exposure. The only birth defect recognized for the male children of Vietnam veterans is spina bifida, and the children that have spina bifida have to fight for the for the services that are provided to them under law. They have to fight. That's how it is. We are committed to fighting for the support, services, and rights of the American children of Vietnam veterans.
That's right.
This is the struggle of a lifetime. I, for one, will fight until my very last breath has left my body and my heart has stopped beating. Many of the children of Vietnam veterans have suffered needlessly at the hands of Monsanto and other chemical companies. Many more have mental and physical health problems. Many have already died. More are dying every day. And on top of that, either we have watched our parents die or we are currently watching them die. Something must be done. We do not want our children to suffer as we have. We offer our legacy as a dire warning to the American people. No more GMOs. You got it. No more 2,4-D.
No more 2,4-D.
I want to leave a better world for my children. And because the children are our future, and if we continue this way, there isn't going to be much of a future. Yesterday, 800 scientists demanded global GMO experiments end. During the Vietnam War, many scientists warned against the use of Agent Orange. Our elected officials did not listen then. We need to make them listen now. Now is the time. To those who do not learn from history are destined to repeat their mistakes. Birth defect research for children has recently spearheaded a petition for a children's center, which would help thousands of children of Vietnam veterans that are in dire need of specific medical treatment for exposure to Agent Orange. I have plenty of handouts with me. If anybody wants one, find me in the crowd. Be more than happy. The children of Vietnam veterans need your help. We need your help. We're sick and we're dying. Nobody is helping us. The children, and we are, all of us, every last one of us are victims of Monsanto.
And the Viet Cong.
What she said.
They got it worse than us.
Yes, they do have it worse than us. Unfortunately, they actually, recently I saw pictures of the cleanup going on, and they are wearing chemical suits to clean up the Agent Orange that they spray on our Vietnam vets. They need to, they live in it every day. But there's no help. For 40 plus years, there's been no help. And now they are doing this to all of us. It's time for change. Time for change! Time for change! No more GMO! No more Monsanto! I'm so glad that I was able to speak in front of all of you today. It really was an honor. Thank you for your time. Bless you all. No more GMO.
Everybody give one more round of applause for Dee Reyes. Thank you so much. So just a little tidbit of what's up next is Monsanto is trying to approve Agent Orange ready crops. Just so you know, they're working on genetically engineering crops to be Agent Orange ready, not just Roundup ready. And so we need to really take into account what was just said and be prepared to act when we really need to be acting on that. So next up we have Jessie Dowling from the Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association. She's the grassroots organizer for the GMO labeling campaign, so let's give her a giant round of applause for coming out to be here and speaking.
Can everyone hear me? Well, thank you all so much for having me here today. I'm so psyched to see so many people here, out here to speak truth to power to the big businesses. We don't need them controlling this shit anymore. Alright, so thank you so much to all the people who came out to the public hearing back in April on the 23rd. We had a couple hundred, maybe 300 people at the State House telling representatives and senators that they want GMOs labeled. And the Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry Committee has voted ought to pass 8-4 or 8-5 coming out of committee, and it is getting ready to go to a House vote very, very soon in the next week or two. And so we still are not done. We need you. We need you on Thursday, May 30th. We need each and every one of you to come out to the State House, to the Cross Building in Augusta from 8-4 on May 30th. That's next Thursday. We need all of you there. You need to tell your friends, you need to tell your families. We can get GMOs labeled in Maine. We can be the first state in the country to require mandatory labeling of GMOs. But we're not going to do it without you. We can't do it without a lot of people contacting their representatives and their senators. If you can't make it on Thursday, you need to call your state senator, not Pingree, not those big guys, but the little ones, the ones in your town. You gotta look them up online. Most people know who they are, but it's really important, and you gotta find out who they are, and you gotta call them. I got a flyer here. It's got the phone number to the State House and the Senate and the House. And you can call them, and you can tell them that you want to pass LD 718. That's the GMO labeling bill. We want to see GMOs labeled here in Maine.
Yes!
We can do it, but we need you. Thank you guys so much for being here. You can find me at the Farmers Market every Saturday. I'm in the Dee Reyes Park right before this from 7 to 1. I'll be there every week. You can come talk to me about it if you have any questions. You can email me at righttoknowgmo@mofca.org. That's righttoknowgmo@mofca.org. And I would love to speak with people. I'll be at the march. You can come talk to me. I got flyers. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Let's give her another big round of applause. So I'm just gonna, I don't remember if I introduced myself or not. I'm Whitley Newman. I'm the president of the Green Initiatives Education Fund and the vice chair of the Maine Green Independent Party. Just a little bit of witch craziness going on right now. So, to put this together just took a lot of effort on part of Green Initiatives and also Food and Water Watch. So I just want to give a little shout out to all my volunteers, all my board members that are here today, and I want to give them all a round of applause. And also, we have some buckets that are going to be around for if you guys could pitch in any spare change, $1, $5. This is all come out of, honestly, my own pocket this far. So if you could put anything together, that would be awesome. If not, and just enjoy the time today. So next up, we have Mallory Shaughnessy, former county commissioner and board member of Greater Portland, Move to Amend. Let's give her a huge round of applause.
Thank you. This is awesome. Can you hear me? Can you hear me at the back there? Can't hear me? Can we take it up a little bit more?
Right up to the mic.
It's getting real close.
Can you hear me now at the back there? Wave your hand if you can hear me. All right, yay! Great. It's so good to see so many of you out here today. My name is Mallory Shaughnessy, and I am speaking here today for the Greater Portland affiliate to the National Move to Amend Coalition. which has hundreds of organizations that have joined with it, almost 300,000 signers to a resolution at this point that says we need to overturn the doctrine that says that money equals speech, and to demand that we end corporate personhood. It is time to wrest the power back from corporations like Monsanto and bring it back to us, because we are the people. Let's say it. We are the people. Louder. We are the people. One more time and give it all you got so they can hear us all the way down Congress. We are the people. That's right. We are the people, and this is free speech, what we're doing here today. Thank you all for braving the elements. It hasn't rained on us yet. We've got protection for some here if it does, and we know we'll just keep going and do the march anyway. As you know, as mentioned earlier, in March, Congress passed the biotech rider dubbed the Monsanto Protection Act. Basically allows Monsanto and others to use GMOs to plant and sell genetically altered products, even if legal action is taken to block them. They can't block them even legally now with that. And it's just another in a long line of legislation that's been bought and paid for by Monsanto. Yesterday, the Senate overwhelmingly rejected a bill that would have allowed states to decide for themselves if genetically modified food products should be labeled. And Senator Collins voted against that amendment too, somebody just said. All over the world, European Union, other countries, all around the world, people have the right to demand that GMOs get labeled so that they can go to a store and they can know what is on those products, but not in the USA. And why not? Well, that's part of it. It's the Supreme Court. It's the fact that we have corporate personhood, and we say that money equals speech. This is free speech. This is free speech. For the last 130 years, corporations have used the Supreme Court and other means to buy and manipulate their way into expanding their rights as corporation persons, as having personhood and taking the rights that were created for us, the real people. They have taken those and they have used those and expanded their powers step by step, year by year, for 130 years. It started in 1886 when the 14th Amendment was passed. And the 14th Amendment was passed to say that the newly freed black man was a person. Corporations used that ruling, the 14th Amendment, and got themselves labeled as persons. And they have ever since then taken every ruling that has come down to give us more and expanded powers and rights and use them for themselves, to raise their voices louder. Somebody, I don't know. We are the voters, exactly. We are the speakers. We are the people. With this kind of corporate power that has been growing, the whole concept of we the people is now in danger of becoming a footnote in our history instead of the foundation of our nation's existence. You need to go online and join with us with Move for Men. We have now in this state passed 30, I think around 29 or 30 towns have passed resolutions calling for this change, this U.S. constitutional amendment to say that corporations are not people and money is not speech. Maine just last month became the 13th state nationwide to have a legislature actually pass this resolution calling on the federal government to pass an amendment. But that is not the end of us for the state of Maine. We have many towns and cities that can pass this resolution. We need to work to get our federal delegation to stand up and speak to this, and we need to join nationally to make this amendment happen. Join us in stripping the corporate personhood from Monsanto and others like them, because we are the people. We are the real people. Say it with me. We are the people. We are the people. And this is free speech. Give it up for Mallory Shaughnessy. And I just want everybody to call Susan
Collins and tell her how you feel about not supporting the amendment in the Farm Bill that would allow us to have rights as states to regulate GMOs. So, next up, we have someone I'm a big fan of, as many of you guys know. He's a city councilor in Portland City Hall, and also my partner and fiance, David Marshall.
How's everybody doing today? No more GMO!
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 Yes, it's great to be here today. Welcome to the city of Portland, everybody. I'm Dave Marshall. I have the privilege of serving here on the City Council in Portland, and I'm also the chair of the Transportation, Sustainability, and Energy Committee. Instead of just talking about things and passing policy, I live the practices that I preach. I ride a bike, I walk, I got rid of my car, and this year, I'm starting my own backyard garden. I love the sign down front here that says, my other protest sign is my garden. And that's what we need to do. We need to be resilient. We need to create our own food. We need to grow our own foods in our backyards using container gardens. We need to use anything we can in order to produce that food. That's really important. And we also need to go back to our own towns. We need to ask our town leaders to help facilitate more food production right in our own towns. In the state of Maine, we import over 80% of the food we eat. That's over 80%. We need to improve that. Will you work with me in order to improve that, to make sure that we're eating more food? Great. Well, that's it for me for right now. I'll call Whitley back up on stage. Really appreciate everybody coming out today. I'm getting pumped to March, and really appreciate the money that people threw in to our red buckets, because we incurred a lot of costs with fees, permits, and building a stage and all those things. So thank you so much.
Are you guys ready to march? Are you ready to march? We need seed freedom. Say that with me. We need seed freedom.
Take back!
We need our states back too. We need seed freedom.
We need seed freedom!
We need food for everyone.
We need food for everyone!
So we're gonna all build that together as a community, but I don't know about you. I'm ready to march, so I'm gonna ask my lovely volunteers in the yellow vests to start moving that way, just so you guys can all have an idea of where we're gonna be marching to. We're gonna be going down